and welcome to Meridian News Now. I'm Elissa Kedziorek. Thanks for joining us. Roads have been bad in Meridian Township, and it appears they will only get worse through the winter. When the majority of roads in Meridian will be in excellent condition, no one knows.
Rated category by residents in Meridian Township in a recent National Citizen Survey was road quality, with only 23% of residents saying roads are good. Meridian Township's pavement surface evaluation and rating assessment of local roads has been conducted, and 31% of 147 miles of minor roads are in poor condition. The Transportation Commission and Township Board are attempting to balance present and future road repairs, whether to patch or resurface. The solution being brought forth to make the repairs is a $2 million increase worth $35 million over 10 years. Phil DeShane, Township Treasurer, believes the millage is necessary to catch up on road repairs and maintain fixes.
The way to get there is to spend some money on it. Roads aren't cheap, they aren't free. And the number that the consultants have given us right now is $3.5 million a year, or $35 million over 10 years.
Meridian Township isn't the only Michigan community facing this kind of road problem. Supply and demand ripples will be felt throughout the road construction industry as contractor schedules quickly fill for the summer.
And asset management. What we do now is we build new roads and we don't have the money to maintain them, so we use them until they just kind of fall off the useful life. We go back, scrape them, repave them, start over again.
Township leadership is banking on investing in roads now to lessen costs in the future.
We're out by Lake Lansing where the soil is very porous, very unstable, very susceptible to our spring flooding, as well as the whole Grand River corridor. Much of that is state roads there, or county road, but that's all beneath the floodplain. And so when that floods, like we did last year, we've got real problems, and it's very difficult to maintain a road that's underwater.
Increasing taxes isn't a popular thing to do, but may be needed to get road repairs under control. A timeline and map would be provided to see when a neighborhood or street may be repaved or have maintenance done.
So people can look up their road, and then by clicking on a road, they'll be able to see when their road would be fixed, be it a year from now or 9 years from now, or what would be done between now and then to maintain their road. So everyone would have a sense of how this is going to impact the whole township and their particular street or neighborhood in particular. Yeah. So people would have an idea when they could expect this money to be invested in their neighborhood.
Transparency through the entire process will be paramount to gaining residents' trust and keeping it for the duration of the project. The Township Board is certain that this millage is necessary, but still need to ensure their constituents are prepared for a long list of road upgrades.
The board plans to discuss a road millage further at their next meeting on Tuesday, February 19th. This past Tuesday, the Township Board addressed concerns and final changes for the medical marijuana ordinance first introduced in August 2018. Clerk Brett Dreyfus addressed concerns he had received, and residents expressed a positive feeling toward the ordinance adoption.
We had legalized marijuana on the ballot in the November 2018 general election. There were 12,736 yes votes and 8,201 no votes, for 60% yes and 40% no. So a little bit lower, but still within the same general range. Being a person who is the election administrator in this community, I would say that those numbers indicate a very strong and clear majority. A close election is usually within a few percentage points. This is a very, very strong and clear majority of the citizens have spoken. So in a nutshell, I think that we've come up with an excellent ordinance that addresses the concerns that we have for the majority of citizens in terms of safety, public nuisance, odor, the fine schedule, having preference for Meridian residents to be able to open businesses as part of our economic development. We're recognizing that this is not just an economic development issue. This is an issue of allowing our citizens, the 64% that voted yes to medical marijuana, to have access to it in their own community. The number is very small, it's safeguarded, and it's put in zoning areas that are meant to minimize their impact to any adjacent residential area. So for those reasons, I think that we're moving in a very positive direction, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we move forward with this in the future.
Supervisor Styka said that we will be seeing the zoning ordinance within a month after now finalizing all changes to the medical marijuana ordinance. During the February 15th Meridian Township Board meeting, Thomas Hitch presented a rezoning request on behalf of his clients. Road had been a family homestead for many years. Currently, the home is no use to the family as both owners have left the township. The rezoning of the property would change the land from a residential area to a professional and office area. The change is meant to fix environmental issues on the property. Trustee Jackson was in favor of the rezoning.
I also plan to support this rezoning. I think I raised a question at our last meeting about other possible uses besides in some cases residential in a PO zoning district. I looked at those and have in my own mind satisfied the idea of this rezoning producing a transitional type of uses in this area that is probably most appropriate.
The Township Board voted unanimously in favor of the rezoning. Wednesday night's Environmental Commission's green theme presentation was on a topic relevant to all of us, roads. Karam Chatty is a professor of civil and environmental engineering and the director of the University of Transportation Center for Highway Pavement Preservation. He spoke to the commission about cost-effective green methods for keeping roads in good condition longer.
It's in very good condition. You may spend, let's say, $10,000. And then as you go down in that condition, then you could double it if you go, say, to the third category, or you could quadruple it if you go all the way to the 60s. So it makes sense from an economic point of view. And the claim from the preservation industry and the preservation community is that every dollar you spend in keeping a good road in good condition precludes you from spending as much as $6 to maybe even as high as $14 if you go all the way to full heavy-duty rehabilitation. So it makes perfect sense from an economic sense, from an economics point of view. Of course, the problem is the budget constraints and looking at the whole network. So it's not easy to implement. It takes a long-term strategy.
Meridian Township will be celebrating the Chinese New Year. The event will be Sunday, February 10th, beginning at 1 p.m. at the Meridian Mall. There will be festivities such as a parade, music, dancing, singing, games, and more. The event will be free and hosted by the Greater Lansing Chinese Association. Chinese New Year, also called Spring Festival, has more than 4,000 years of history. It is the grandest and most celebrated festival of the Chinese tradition. Meridian News Now will be putting a twist on our normal newscast. On February 7th, Meridian News Now will be launching a Mandarin version of the show. But for now, here's a little look.
Harris Nature Center 的资深博物学家向我们解释了雪板租赁的流程。大家可以在正常营业时间，也就是上午9点到下午4点半期间来，这样能给我们留出一些整理的时间。游客只需要填一张含有联系方式的表格，然后我们会测量尺寸，为您找到合适的雪板。租赁费用为周1至周5，每小时5刀。
Two of our Mandarin-speaking alumni members will be returning to HOMTV to translate scripts and anchor the Mandarin version of Meridian News Now on a bi-weekly basis. We are excited to add this addition to our show. The ongoing fight against cancer continued last Friday at Hazlitt High School. Here's Kevin Hodge with the story.
For some, it seemed like a normal night of basketball. For others, last Friday night wasn't about a game between two teams. It was about coming together as one team and facing one common enemy. The boys and the girls are here tonight from St. John's and Hazlitt High School, but they're not only interested in beating each other tonight, together they're working together to beat cancer. Lime green was the theme that night. It represents the battle against lymphoma, which Hazlitt girls head coach and event organizer Ross Baker is now recovering from. I talked to fellow organizer Mark Cotter to see just how this event was organized.
Our varsity girls coach, Ross Baker, this time last year was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And that got us thinking here a year later, now that he is cancer-free, which is amazing in itself, how do we get back? And he said, Mark, you're a throat cancer survivor. Why don't we get together, pay it back, and do something with Coaches versus Cancer. We're basketball guys. This has to do with basketball.
Donations were being accepted, but it was also possible to get your very own Full Court Press Against Cancer t-shirt to honor the varsity girls head coach.
And tonight's a good night to remember him and honor his work, and we're happy he's a survivor.
Reporting for HOMTV, Kevin Hodge.
That's all for today's episode of Meridian News Now. Remember, you can stay up to date with Township News by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course, HOMTV.net. I'm Elissa Kedziorek. Thanks for watching and have a great day.